The rise of the gig economy and its implications for the workforce. The gig economy has grown significantly in recent years and is defined by temporary, flexible work that is frequently mediated through digital platforms. Approximately 64 million Americans, or 38% of the labor force in the United States, were gig workers as of 2023. The traditional employment landscape has changed as a result of this trend, which has different effects on employers and employees. We will talk about its advantages, ramifications, and upcoming difficulties today. Number 5. Overview. The gig economy has become a disruptive force in the labor market, changing the nature, scope, and value of work in a number of industries. The gig economy, which is characterized by transient, flexible work arrangements made possible by digital platforms, gives people the opportunity to work on a variety of projects, frequently as independent contractors. Approximately 64 million Americans, or 38% of the country's workforce, worked as freelancers as of 2023. This trend has greatly increased as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Due to the disruption of traditional employment structures caused by the global health crisis, many people have turned to alternative sources of income in the face of widespread layoffs and economic uncertainty. There are many different types of jobs that fall under the gig economy. The gig economy includes a broad spectrum of employment, such as freelance writing, graphic design, programming, and consulting, as well as ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft, and food delivery services like DoorDash and Grubhub. This diversity illustrates the workforce's adaptability as well as the growing need for flexible services in the on-demand economy. An estimate of the gig economy's $1.35 trillion estimated 2022 contribution to the U.S. economy highlights its importance as a key industry. The gig economy is expected to grow further as technology advances and makes it possible for employees and employers to interact more easily. Due to the challenge to traditional employment models, this growth raises significant concerns about labor rights, economic stability, and the future of work. Number 4. Benefits for workers. The unmatched flexibility that the gig economy provides is one of the biggest benefits for workers. Gig workers frequently have flexibility in terms of where, when, and how they work, which enables them to plan their work around obligations and personal lives. This flexibility helps people balance work and other aspects of their lives more successfully, which is especially helpful for those who have family responsibilities, are students, or are pursuing other interests. For instance, a parent may decide to work during their child's school hours, or a student may accept jobs that coincide with their course load. Furthermore, gig work enables people to work multiple jobs at the same time, which can be an essential tactic for maintaining financial stability in an unstable economic climate. This diversification promotes the growth of a more comprehensive skill set in addition to reducing the risks connected with depending solely on one source of income. Being their own boss allows them to make decisions about their work, such as negotiating terms and setting their own prices, which can increase job satisfaction and give them a sense of ownership over their careers. This autonomy is highly valued by gig workers. But in order to achieve this independence, gig workers must also learn self-control and efficient time management techniques because they have to deal with inconsistent pay and varying workloads. A freelance graphic designer, for example, might go through phases of great demand and then dry spells. This would require careful budgeting and financial planning. Despite these advantages, gig workers frequently experience difficulties with job security, the lack of benefits associated with traditional employment, and pressure to always look for new gigs, all of which can have an adverse effect on their general well-being and ability to make ends meet. Number 3. Benefits for employers. The gig economy offers employers a number of benefits that can greatly improve operational effectiveness and competitiveness in a business environment that is becoming more and more dynamic. Cost savings is one of the most attractive advantages. By using independent contractors or freelancers rather than full-time staff, businesses can save money on labor and can also avoid paying for benefits like paid time off, health insurance, and retirement contributions. With the help of this model, companies can become more flexible and quickly modify their workforce to meet project-specific requirements, seasonal variations, or shifting market demands. To handle increased customer traffic during the holiday season, for example, a retail company might hire more gig workers without committing to long-term employment contracts. Furthermore, employers can find skilled workers regardless of geographic limitations thanks to the gig economy's access to a wider talent pool. This is especially helpful for businesses looking to access global expertise or for those in specialized fields where talent may be hard to come by. Additionally, gig workers frequently bring unique viewpoints, creative problem-solving techniques, and specialized skills to the table, all of which can stimulate innovation and promote organizational growth. For instance, a tech startup could employ independent contractors with specialized skills in development for a project, gaining access to their knowledge without incurring the costs associated with hiring a full-time employee. Companies can retain operational flexibility by scaling up or down their workforce in response to project requirements, which eventually improves responsiveness, efficiency, and profitability. Though the gig economy has many benefits, employers must also overcome difficulties in overseeing a varied and distributed workforce, guaranteeing quality control and preserving efficient communication. Number 2. Challenges and implications. The gig economy has many advantages, but it also presents unique difficulties that may have a negative impact on employees' long-term career prospects, job security, and general well-being. The absence of benefits usually associated with regular work is a major worry, as it can result in financial instability and elevated stress levels for gig workers. A lot of gig workers don't have access to paid time off, retirement plans, health insurance, or other crucial benefits that act as a safety net in difficult circumstances. The lack of a full benefits package is especially worrisome in times of crisis like medical emergencies or recessions, when gig workers might find it difficult to keep a steady income or pay unforeseen bills. For example, a gig worker without access to paid sick leave or health insurance may suffer severe financial hardship in the event of an illness. Many workers experience job insecurity as a result of gig work's transient and frequently unpredictable nature, which makes them apprehensive about their future earnings and career prospects. This precariousness can limit chances for skill advancement, impede long-term career development, and foster an unstable atmosphere that can be detrimental to one's general well-being and mental health. Moreover, the gig economy has the potential to undermine established labor laws, making it more difficult for employees to demand fair compensation, secure working environments, and equal treatment. Because they are classified as independent contractors rather than employees, gig workers frequently lose out on important labor rights like overtime pay, minimum wage guarantees, and protection from harassment and discrimination. This presents significant issues regarding the nature of work in the future. Workers' rights in a labor market that is becoming more flexible, the possibility of exploitation, and the maintenance of labor laws that have been fought for. Calls for reform and increased protections for gig workers have resulted from the growing awareness of these difficulties, underscoring the necessity of a well-rounded strategy that takes into account both the advantages and disadvantages of this changing employment model. Number 1. Future outlook. Policymakers, companies, and stakeholders must address the issues raised by the gig economy while maximizing its potential advantages as it grows and changes. This entails creating laws and guidelines that safeguard gig workers while enabling companies to prosper in a cutthroat market. It is imperative to guarantee that gig workers are granted comparable benefits and protections to those enjoyed by regular employees in order to promote an equitable, inclusive, and long-lasting labor market. It might be necessary for policymakers to take into account creative solutions like benefits that are transferable between gigs or new classifications that acknowledge the special characteristics of gig work while guaranteeing sufficient protections and rights. Advocates suggest, for instance, establishing a new worker classification category that would offer gig workers some protections without putting all the demands of traditional employment on them. Better information gathering about gig workers will be essential for developing these policies, as well as for identifying trends, obstacles, and business opportunities in the gig economy. By resolving these problems, interested parties can endeavor to distribute the advantages of this change in the economy more fairly and guarantee that the gig economy is a safe and viable choice for all workers, regardless of their circumstances or background. In the end, the gig economy's survival will depend on striking a balance between employer demands and worker rights, opening the door for a more diverse, resilient, and adaptable labor force that can prosper in the face of continuous technological and financial upheaval. It will take constant communication between employers, workers, and policymakers to create a future where traditional employment models and the gig economy can coexist and guarantee that all workers have the chance to prosper in a world that is changing quickly. The implementation of a collaborative approach is imperative in mitigating the intricacies of the gig economy and guaranteeing its constructive impact on the wider economy and society. Thanks for watching our video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more informative videos in future.